Hello, my name is Louis Karajanis. I'm the Director of Technology here at St. Benedict, and this is a short presentation on some of the technology summer 2017 progress items that were taken care of and some of the revisions that we made to the campus and where our key focus was as we entered the 2017-18 school year. The technology role and mission here at St. Benedict is to develop an effective model for the 21st century learning in the Catholic schools. We really wanted to focus on the 7 C's, as outlined here in the PowerPoint: Catholic, creativity, collaboration, critical thinking, content, communication, and connectiveness. And these are really a key goal of myself, Rachel, and Phil, where all of us try to really look at and identify and emphasize in the school curriculum and technology. And we did that through integration of a STEM program, investment in teacher training, facility resources, and technology and support, as well as enhancements of our middle school program, enrichment, and elective choices. Education technology action items. So when we sat down back in May, we were thinking about what direction we wanted to take the school in over the next course of the summer and into the start of the next school year. And we really identified one piece that was really, really important to ensure that we had as sort of a differentiator and also just to keep up with other schools in the area, and that was a deployment of a one-to-one model. And since St. Benedict has got so many grade levels and so many kids, we really wanted to make sure that we were engaged with the faculty members and help them through this process of integrating the one-to-one program so that it was a very seamless and walk-through transition. So we decided to only do grades K, 3, and 6. We also didn't want to have parents buying into a student device and only getting 2 years out of it. For instance, if they bought in first grade and only had it for first and second, whereas the kindergartners would have it for kindergarten, first and second, 3 years over an entire device lifetime. So we decided to phase it in through those 3 grade levels, and every year after that continue to roll it in until after 3 years the entire school is one-to-one. However, we knew that if we were going to do the one-to-one program, there were a couple of prerequisites that had to be taken care of. First of all, we had to hire new staff. We needed to update the faculty laptops. We needed to take our Forcepoint services to the cloud, and I'm going to speak on that in a little bit about what Forcepoint is and the reasons why we needed it in the cloud. We needed to fix a lot of the cabling issues in the classrooms, primarily things with the phones, access points, and cable clutter. We needed to replace our distribution centers for the network. I'm going to touch on those and show some pictures in a little bit. And we also wanted to look at the laboratory spaces in the secondary school and the exploratory. Since we're bringing laptops to the students in the classrooms, a lot of the primary computer skills that they would normally learn in the computer lab are now being replaced with the one-to-one. So the model by which we needed to follow in the computer lab needed to be changed entirely. So first step, hire staff. We hired 2 staff members. One is a full-time network technician to complement myself. So we have 2 full-time employees that are here to work on all the day-to-day operations that are going on with the network, with security, with our servers, with troubleshooting and tech support, and also a part-time computer technician who helped in the assist of the installation of all the software on the computers, the deployment and imaging of all the computers, as well as tech support with one-to-one, being a primary voice and somebody who could be present in the classroom to help the teachers get used to this new format and new style of teaching with the new computers. We also hired Phil Siegel, who is our innovations coach, and his primary role is to focus on the 7 C's of learning, integrating technology into the curriculum, as well as helping to develop the STEM program here at St. Benedict. So moving on to the machines, when we decided to update the faculty and student laptops, we really needed to go down and decide which device was actually going to be the one that was going to fit the school the best. There's so many computers out there, such a wide variety of different types of operating systems and hardware that can be decided upon, and we needed to identify, what do our teachers need, what do our staff need, what do our students need, what is their primary objective in the classroom, and what types of tools do they need to get that stuff done. And that was one thing that wasn't being done in the past. In the past, it was like, all right, here's the budget. Oh, this is a pretty good recommended business laptop. Why don't we just go with this? The teacher should be able to use it for the majority of their day-to-day operations, and everything should be okay. We wanted to take a different approach where we find a device that's catered specifically for the needs of the teacher and fit the actual direction and model that we wanted for technology in the classroom. And so we looked at Chromebooks, we looked at MacBooks, and we looked at a variety of different Windows machines. And what we found was that the Chromebooks did not offer the offline experience that many of the faculty really truly wanted. Having Microsoft Office and applications and having different types of business editing tools when you're not connected to the internet was crucial, and the Chromebook just did not have that. The MacBook did not have the ability to have a touchscreen and have a user writable interface on the machine. The teachers have really taken this ability to write on the screen and interact on the screen with a touch and motion controls to all new levels. I mean, they have used the computer in conjunction with the Epson interactive projectors for interactive activities, for teaching lessons, and for writing skills. Those things would just not be possible with the MacBook. And when looking at a variety of different Windows devices range from very cheap and affordable starting computers to very expensive and advanced premium machines. And so we needed to look at trying to go through and find, all right, what's a really good home device, what's a really good business device, what really fits our teachers the best. And what we found was that the Lenovo X1 Yoga for our faculty seemed to be the best fit. The X1 Yoga, and then for the students, we picked the N23 student device. So for the teacher machine, the X1 Yoga is a very lightweight machine. It's only 0.67 inches thick and weighs under 3 pounds. So it's very much on board with your modern day MacBooks when it comes to size, and it's a lot lighter since it's not made out of an aluminum construction. Instead, it's made out of a carbon fiber plastic injected molding. It's not like your average day scratchy, crackable plastic. This is a very hard, durable plastic which fares very well in rough conditions, and it doesn't break easily, and it's very durable. It also has a 14-inch screen, which a lot of the teachers really like because before they had a 15-inch, and it was very big and bulky and hard to carry around. But the 13-inch was too small, and it was too dramatic of a drop in screen real estate. The 14-inch they find is a great size for working on applications and being able to be portable at the same time. It has a 13 to 15 hour battery life, which is extremely impressive for a Windows machine. Windows computers tend to be a lot more intensive when it comes to day-to-day operations, and therefore drain the battery a lot faster than a lot of its Unix competitors like Mac and Google. But to get 13 to 15 hours of battery life was really impressive, and the teachers don't have any issues where a machine is dying and not being able to be used in class. And if they, for whatever reason, do forget to charge the computer, it gets 75% of its battery life back in 1 hour, so they can charge over their lunch period and be all set for the rest of the day. It has a lot of performance. It has a brand new Intel Core i5 processor, 8 gigs of RAM. It has an M.2 PCIe flash storage drive, just like the Macs. And it comes with a touchscreen and digitizer pen, which the teachers love. A couple of add-ons that we gave with the teacher was the Forcepoint Cloud Services. I'm going to talk about that in a little while, as well as an abundance of different software like Microsoft Office, SmartNote 17, and Net Support. SmartNote 17 is a huge software that the teachers use for creating PowerPoints and interactive lessons with the Epson projector. And the Net Support software is what the teachers will use to control the student devices and monitor the student devices when in the classroom environment. For the student machines, we chose the N23 mainly because of its rugged build. It's very durable, so if the kids drop it, if they spill things on it, if they drop stuff on it, if they go to the beach with it, whatever, it's a very durable machine. It's built for for kids and for young adults to be using in any environment or climate. It also has the touchscreen and ability to write on the device, which is something that we wanted to carry over, and it runs the same operating system as the teacher's devices. So it allows for a very seamless transition when the teachers need to help the students, or if they need to see something. They're not learning two different operating systems, for instance, iPad and Google Chrome. Instead, they're keeping everything streamlined with one operating system, and it's very seamless to transfer back and forth between the two. We also wanted the computers to be secure, so Forcepoint is installed on the kids' computers. The net support software is installed so that the teachers will have the ability to control and monitor the students at all times in the classroom and keep up on what they're working on, and if they're straying away from the lesson plans to do personal things, the teachers can monitor all that in the classroom. And we also want to make sure that the student devices were covered. So we purchased 3-year accidental damage and factory warranty plans with the devices. So when you buy this device, you're not just getting the device. You're getting 3-year accidental damage. So anything happens to the device, it's covered under warranty and it's paid and repaired and given back to the child. You're paying for Forcepoint security services, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, and how major this is for the student devices. You're paying for all the software that's installed on the computer, for instance, Microsoft Office and net support and Adobe and whatnot. We're also giving you the rugged build of the device. So you're buying something that is, we've ensured that it's going to be able to withstand the day-to-day operations of the child, and it's managed by us. And after 3 years, and we hand it over, and it's yours to take and yours to keep. So as I talked earlier about Forcepoint and how it's integrated into the faculty and the student devices, Forcepoint is a service that we pay for, which is a huge differentiator here at St. Benedict over that of all the other schools or even parishes in our area. Forcepoint is a company that is powered by Raytheon, and they provide corporate security for stock trading, for banking and law firms, government agencies, big time entities with a lot of employees and a lot of data that needs to be protected. And so normally they wouldn't be involved in an environment like ours. However, they've made exceptions and they've worked with us and provided pricing discounts and has really cooperated with our school and our parish to provide next level security and protection. Forcepoint was originally installed locally at our central campus location to protect all the computers and networking equipment internally from outside viruses, malware, ransomware, as well as provide content filtering for all student devices. However, now that we're sending home faculty and student devices that we've just purchased that are state-of-the-art and very fast and can be used by the students and faculty in a variety of different ways, we wanted to make sure that they were protected anywhere they went. So by taking Forcepoint and moving it to a cloud-based hybrid system, they now connect to an outside proxy that is hosted in the cloud so they get protection in any country, anywhere on the globe, from viruses, malware, ransomware, spyware, phishing, all of that. No matter where they go, what website or what email they open, everything that is trafficked into the computer from the outside world is passed through a proxy that's installed internally on the machine and is not bypassable by any third-party application or student interaction. So what that means is the kids cannot get around this. They cannot get to a website that's inappropriate that we say they're not allowed to go to, and they cannot get infected by outside influence. So this system is extremely sophisticated. In fact, it's so sophisticated it can even block internal advertisements that are inappropriate within websites that are allowed. Forcepoint does an amazing job of protecting the students, protecting the faculty, and this is a huge differentiator to the rest of the world in what types of programs are being offered to students. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit about the cost by which this came and why it's integrated into the student device cost as well as the cost that we pay internally for the faculty and for our staff. What I'm going to do now is show you guys some pictures that we took from the different renovations that took place from the different IDFs and distribution centers for where all the network comes in at. So you'll see pictures on the left that show the old setup and pictures on the right which show the new setup. And Giselle played a huge role in connecting these network infrastructure areas into our more modern, clean, and accessible interfaces, from getting rid of all the old cable, putting in new patch panels, running new cable, setting up the new switches, the fiber, just cleaning everything up. And you're going to see that as we continue to go forward. And it's the same thing moving on, where you can see on the left are the old pictures and on the right are the new pictures, where on the left the network pieces were just falling apart. The panels are falling off the wall. The cables are being yanked in the back. It's old cable and it's just unorganized and a mess. And on the right, everything has been bundled, patched, and installed and is working seamlessly in all the classes. Here's another picture of another distribution center. Same thing goes with the cabling and installation of new cable. Moving on to the classrooms, as you can see here, they have cables just laid out everywhere, dangling in different areas. Here's another pic. Over here you can see we have the projector cables are all just bundled up and falling apart, and we took those and patched them into patch boxes so that the faculty can just plug in their computer to the wall instead of having to find cables on the floor that are just laid out in bundles. Next, we have these cables here that are just hanging on the wall. Everything is just really misorganized, and we took Raceway and ran dedicated lines to the phone, dedicated lines to the access point on the wall, dedicated lines to the projector, and we got rid of all those bundles that are just hanging in the top corners of the classrooms and really cleaned everything up by hiding it behind Raceway. As we also saw 2 slides before this, where we just cleaned up all the cable and make sure that everything was mounted on the walls. We had phones that were being put on tables. We had access points that were being put on tables. They were being moved around by the kids. They were being touched and unplugged and mishandled. And by putting them up on the wall and up high where they can't be in the reach of the children really helps to keep good maintenance of the equipment and good reliability over the network. Next was the computer labs. So we designed the STEM program in the computer labs to cater the specific grade levels that we're going to be using them. So starting with the elementary school computer lab, we bought 24 ThinkCenter X1s. These are all-in-one devices, as you can see on the right, kind of like similar to what a Mac would look like, where there is no box and there are not a lot of cables. There simply is just one power cable and one network cable going to every single computer on an all-in-one on the desk. And the keyboard and mouse are wireless, and all the cables are hidden so that the kids aren't touching them with their feet or tripping on them or moving them around in the middle of a test. The computers have wide screens. They're very bright, very high resolution. They're fast enough that can run any applications that the kids would do. And we bought 24 of them because we wanted each kid to be individually able to access the computer and use programs that are for individual-based learning. For instance, working on typing or spelling or doing electronics or programming. Those basic operations where the kids are starting to learn the basic operations of the computer. This is a little bit different than the approach that we took in the middle school and high school. In the middle school and high school, we took an approach of a more cooperative group-based learning, where we bought a high-performance media machine. We bought 6 of them. They're M910Ts. With 27-inch monitors. These machines have got high-level CPUs, they have lots of RAM, they have internal NVIDIA graphics cards, and they're very fast and powerful for doing video rendering, music rendering, for doing Adobe InDesign, for doing any of those group-type based applications that require a lot of horsepower. We put in the secondary school computer lab to cater to those types of activities that the kids are working on and doing. So what was the cost? Well, when looking at the cost, our faculty machines, our student devices, computer labs, all the software, this security software that you see, that's the Forcepoint services. It was $8,400 for installation and over $3,000 annually that we have to spend to maintain it. School and productivity software is kind of just a big pile of software from Windows to Office to Adobe to RenWeb to SchoolDude to Parish. It's just all the software that we use for business and productivity across the entire campus. The projector project, we're replacing all the rooms with interactive projectors. The network was all the APs, the phones, the cabling, the IDFs, the switches, the routers. And the maintenance and department and installation is all the costs that went into third-party contractors, staffing and salaries, as well as costs for internal maintenance and equipment. So funding sources, the majority of it came from general operating expense and budget, and that's why you saw a rise in tuition. Some of it came from the lease fees collected from the parents for the student devices. HSA fund running garage sale paid for the projectors and many other projects across the campus. The Mass and Gala Fund paid for the first down payment on the 3-year program for the faculty machines. And the Generous Family Foundation gift went towards the majority of the computer labs and different technology programs in the elementary school. So technology goals for 2017 and 18. We want to look at looking forward on reconstruction of the camera locations to make the campus more internally secure and to keep control of internal assets as well as protect the kids. We want to deploy Office 365 for students and teachers, as well as make sure everything's on Windows 10s, just to kind of keep a more organized platform, as well as unifying all of our services in one area instead of having Google applications and Microsoft applications. Instead, just unify everything in Microsoft to make for a more seamless transition between online and offline experiences. If possible, jump to Server 2016 if our application compatibility permits. It's a little bit better for managing Windows 10 devices, and it's something that we want to look forward to, as well as cleaning and archiving our server files to create space and more safer environments on all the stuff that we have on campus. In addition, we want to work with the Academic Enrichment Committee and school to improve leadership team and identify and provide solutions for curriculum-driven needs as they are identified. And this goes back to our 7 C's and some of the work that Phil has been doing. Here's some reviews on some of the things and feedback that we've gotten from the teachers over this year and changes that we made. See, last year was our first year here, and so we had a lot of things to learn and get used to and to adapt to in this new environment. And this year being our second year, we were able to put a lot of those to work in the way that we deploy equipment to the teachers, to the way that we introduce and do professional development and training, to also just our day-to-day tech support and services. And I think a lot of that is shown here in our reviews and how pleased everyone has been with our services and what we've been working on.